Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm CHARU SAXENA and I'm currently in my first year pursuing BSc Psychology from Christ University, Delhi NCR. Before we get into the video, we all know the two very popular subjects from the humanities background, which are history and psychology, but they both are very different from each other, right? But today we will be covering the history of psychology. So I it sounds interesting to me. So let's find out it by moving ahead with the video. So let's start with what is exactly psychology. So I'll be explaining you the points which are written here in my own language. Plus I'll also read out to you the points which are written. So, psychology has been defined as study of psyche or mind, of the spirit, of consciousness, and more recently, the study of the science of behavior. Some activities of the modern psychologists have been that some seek the biological correlates of mental events such as sensation, perception, or ideation. Some also concentrate on the understanding of the principles that govern our learning and memory. Some also seek to understand humans by studying the non human animals, and some study the unconscious motivation. Now, what is written on the slide is the definition of psychology has changed as the focus of psychology has changed. Psychology is a really new science with most advances which happened only over the past 150 years or so. So, its origin can be traced back to the ancient Greece, which is 400 or 500 years BC. Now, the basic great thinkers such as Socrates influencing Plato, who in turn influenced Aristotle, we all know about them. Let's move ahead. Do you guys really think that it is easy to write the history of psychology? Perhaps no. So, let's get into a little more detail and try solve this problem. Literally, psychology means the study of psyche or mind, and the study is as old as the human species. The ancients, for example, attempted to account for the dreams, emotions, mental illness, and the fantasies. Now, there were some basic concepts we need to understand. The first one says historicism. It means that the study of the past for its own sake without attempting the relationship between the past and the present. Now, one major danger in using the present state of psychology as a guide in writing its history, however, Stocking, in 1965, had called such an approach to history presentism. Now, presentism also attempts to understand the past in terms of contemporary knowledge and standards. Presentism also implies that the present state of a discipline represents its highest state of development and that early events that led directly to its state. So, in the slide, we have seen that these are the three great thinkers Aristotle, Socrates, and Plato. And let's move ahead with the video. There's a very popular saying of Socrates that it's better to change an opinion than to persist in a wrong one. And I think we all agree with this quote. So, uh, since you very clearly see on the screen that it's time to meet someone, so drum rolls, guys, and we have with us Sir Karl Popper. So, Sir Karl Popper was born in 1902 and he died in 1904. He had disagreed with the traditional description of science in two fundamental ways, which we'll be discussing right now. So, according to Popper, the older view of science implies that the scientists wander around making observations and then attempt to explain what they have observed. So, 25 years ago, Karl Popper says, 25 years ago, I tried to bring home this point to a group of physics students in Vienna, beginning a lecture with the following instructions. So, in his saying, we observed that Karl Popper, 25 years ago, he brought a group of physics students in Vienna with a lecture and he gave the following instructions. And the instructions were take pencil and a paper, carefully observe, and then write down what you have observed. They asked, of course, what I wanted them to observe. Clearly, the instruction observe is absurd. Observation is always selective. Keep that in mind. It needs a chosen object, a definite task, an interest, a point of view, and a problem. I personally really like this saying or theory what he gave. Then he also gave the theory of principle of falsibility. So the demarcation criterion that distinguishes a scientific theory from a non-scientific theory is a principle of falsibility. Very easy to understand. And he also said that a scientific theory must be refutable. Now, in Popper's view, all scientific theories will eventually be found to be false and will be replaced by more adequate theories. It is always just a matter of time. He also gave some really interesting words, which I'll just make you understand from the slide. First one is risky predictions. Now, what are risky predictions in psychology or in any research paper if we study? So, for any theory to be scientific, there must be a risky prediction. Make a prediction and it should be risky. That is the predictions that run in a real risk of being incorrect. What is postdiction now? Explaining the phenomena after they have already occurred. Now there's a phenomena which has already been occurred and then you explain it, which is called postdiction. Now according to Popper, uh, it is the theory's incorrect predictions rather than its correct one that cause the scientific progress. Now any successful scientific invention or theories we have seen, according to Popper, he says that if a theory has incorrect predictions, more incorrect predictions than the correct ones, that is where you're leading to the path of success. And the idea was nicely captured by Marx and Godson. Moving ahead, uh, I'll just conclude it in a short form. So Popper used falsification as a demarcation between a scientific and a non-scientific theory, as we discussed earlier, but not between a useful and a useless theory. Many theories in psychology fail Popper's test of falsibility either because they are stated in such general terms that they are confirmed by almost any observation, or because they engage in postdiction rather than prediction. Such theories lack scientific rigor but are often still found to be useful. Freud's and Adler's theories are such examples which may help us. So these were the references. If you wanna understand more or you have any queries, you can refer to these references or even ask me your queries in the comment box. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a good day and I made this concept somewhat clear. Thank you. Bye bye. Meet you next time.